There's no mic. No, I think there's no electricity all day. There's no electricity till 5. So you'll all have to speak up.
Take the two phenomena, impermanent and not thought, not one with thought, and product.
That's a lot. There's 4 things you said.
Take impermanent and not one with thought.
Okay, impermanent and not one with pot. And?
That was the first sector. And product. It follows that they're related as universal and instance. It follows product is an instance of impermanent and not one with thought.
Oh, like impermanent and not one with pot.
Yeah.
It follows product is a
Universal?
of impermanent and not one with pot.
Yeah. Permanent not one with thought is an instance.
Why?
Because it fulfills the 3 conditions.
These are not established.
Okay. What's the reason why reason is not established? Or what's the reason not established?
Because there's nothing that's not impermanent, not one with pot, that is product.
Take pot, it follows it is impermanent and not one with pot.
It is impermanent and not with pot, except? No, why? Why? Pot is impermanent and one with pot. It's not impermanent and not one with pot.
So it follows there is something which is both a product
There is.
and impermanent and not one with pot.
Except there is one thing, but not many things.
Okay. So take impermanent and not one with pot and not one with pillar.
Okay, fine.
It follows there are many things which are not product and there are
Now,
many things
no.
which are not those and
Why? What are the many things now?
pot and pillar.
Pot and pillar are not one with pot. Pot and pillar are not one with pillar.
Do you understand? Can I speak in normal English?
No. This is your English.
Okay. Okay. Take permanent. Take impermanent. Or take product. It follows impermanent and not pot is an instance.
Impermanent and not pot.
Is an instance of product.
Not pot now.
I accept.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Impermanent and not pot. Yeah, okay, fine.
You accept?
Yeah.
Now take. It follows impermanent and not one with pot.
Why?
How about impermanent and not one with pot, and not one with base, and not one with pillar?
But that's all becoming one thing.
Yeah.
So then why?
Because there are 3 things.
These are not established.
So posit the meaning of many.
More than one.
So it follows there are not more than one thing.
Except when you add all those 3 on, there's not. The first one was nice though.
Take pillar. It follows it is impermanent. It
Except?
follows it is impermanent and not one with pot and not one with pillar.
Except? Yeah, it is. But yeah.
Take impermanent
Mm-hmm.
and not one with pot and not one with pillar and not one with table.
Okay.
Take table. It follows it is not that.
It follows it is not impermanent and not one with pot and not one with pillar and not one with table. Table. What's the subject?
The subject is table is not that.
Yeah, okay, except.
It follows pillar is not that.
Yeah, I think it's fine. That's also an instance. It would be fine, yeah.
So that would be an instance.
That would be an
Impermanent
instance.
And not one with pot.
Impermanence and not one with pot, not one with pillar, that would be an instance. Impermanence and not one with pot? Because it is product, it is intrinsically related to product, and there are many things that are not impermanent. Now this whole thing has to be taken as one. There are many things that are not impermanent, not one with pot, not one with pillar, not one with table, that are product. For instance, table, pillar. Pillar is impermanent. Pillar is not impermanent and not one with pot, not one with table. No, wait. Huh? Yeah, but impermanent and not one with pot. Pot is impermanent, but pot is not impermanent and not one with pot. Pot is impermanent and one with pot. Yeah. So a pot is not impermanent and not one. A table is impermanent and not one with pot and not one with pillar. Yeah.
Okay. And
No, wait. Table is not impermanent and not one with pot, not one with table, not one with pillar. It's not.
what's the reason?
Because it is one with table.
He didn't say table.
ठीक है, pillar, table. He's given me 3 options.
Not
Whatever.
one with table, he didn't say.
He said table. What's your subject? Table, right?
Table
Is not impermanent and not one with pot and not one with pillar and not one with table. It's not.
Table is
Impermanent.
impermanent.
It is.
Table is not one with pot.
Yeah.
Table is not one with pillar.
But it is one with table.
And it is one with table.
Yeah. So it's not the whole
So
thing.
It's not the whole thing. So
Yeah.
It doesn't fit.
It's not the whole thing, so it doesn't fit. So it is something that is not impermanent and neither of those 3. That one. Table. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Could you posit the meaning of distinct in the definition of substantial?
Distinct means that it just appears to the conceptual mind differently, no? It is conceived of and spoken of with different terms.
If it is same substantial type, it is necessarily not one.
If it is same substantial type, it follows it is necessarily not one. Why?
Because if it is one, it is necessarily not distinct.
No provision.
So it follows there are things which are one and distinct.
Why?
Because, okay, posit no provision.
Posit?
Posit no provision.
Say the syllogism again.
If it is same substantial type, if two phenomena are same substantial type, it follows they are necessarily not one.
If 2 phenomena are same substantial type, if 2 phenomena you said now. You've changed your subject. If 2 phenomena, accept.
So you accept that.
Yeah. If it is substantially one, it doesn't have to be distinct. But you said if it is 2 phenomena, then yes, accept. That makes sense.
Because of being distinct?
No, because the subject is 2 phenomena.
Yeah, but take two phenomena that are the same substantial type. It follows they are not one because of being distinct.
They are not one because they're 2 phenomena. Not because they're distinct, because they're 2 phenomena. That's your subject.
Take two phenomena, it follows they can't be one.
Accept.
Take pot and pot, it follows they're one phenomenon.
Accept.
Okay. It follows if there are two subjects.
Yeah.
Take pot and pot, it follows there are two subjects.
Why?
Because
You said it twice, no provision. It's not 2 subjects. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
okay. Take that which is same substantial type. It follows it is necessarily not one.
It is necessarily not one. Why?
Because something which is the same substantial type does not fulfill the definition of one.
Cannot fulfill the definition of one. Reason not established.
So it follows if they're same substantial type.
It can be one.
If something is same substantial type, it can fulfill the definition of one.
Except
Possible definition of one.
phenomena that are not distinct.
Phenomena.
What?
Phenomena.
Yeah, phenomena that are not distinct.
Anyways.
Okay, posit the definition of same substantial type.
Same substantial type is that arise from the same substantial cause, no?
Distinct entities.
It specifies.
Is that? Oh, then it's fine. Then they have to be distinct. Fine. Then they can't be one.
Oh, okay.
If it's substantial type, then they're distinct entities, yeah.
They're not one.
Then they're not one. But substantially one can be. Substantially one doesn't say that, no?
Yeah.
Substantially one just says, what does it say? It says that which arises without separable essential natures, yeah.
Doesn't it say a phenomenon?
Again, but that's when you're talking about it in relation to something, right? So when you're talking about it with two bases, then it's phenomena. When you're talking about it with one thing, then it's phenomenon.
So we can change the definition according to our subject.
I mean, you have to in English. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. You have to do that in English, yeah.
Is there a particular relevance to those generalities that has a whole list of things combined?
Which one?
What,
It's the third condition. The third condition for
when you
something
say
to be
impermanent
qualified.
and not one with pod and not one with table, why would that be important to know?
That is-
Because you're just saying it is something impermanent. He's trying to find something that's impermanent, but not one of these. So then it ends up being an instance, I guess, right? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it's an instance of product.
You have to give it to the last condition.
Yeah. I have one that I saw. What is the relation between generality of product and generality of impermanent? Universal of impermanent and universal of product. What is the relation between universal of product and universal of impermanent? Exclusive. Inclusive.
But does
And?
that mean it is the universal which is product or the
Universal of, not which is, of. Of product. Generality of product. So when you say universal of product, you're not saying product that is a universal. You're saying universal of product where product is a in particular of it, right? So what is the relation? Impermanent. For? For? Inclusive? Inclusive? Feels like inclusive, no? Okay. Tedeshji? Inclusive? 3? Inclusive? Inclusive? Madam?
Same, inclusive.
Who's saying 4 and 3s?
I changed it.
You. What are you saying? 3? 3. Okay. If it is universal of impermanent, it follows it is not universal of product. For example, existent. If it is universal of product, it follows it is universal of impermanent. Now the wise need to speak up. Huh? If it is universal of product, it follows it is universal of impermanent. Yeah? Huh? Huh? What is it? Come on. We have to check. It doesn't matter. Say something. If it is universal of product, it follows it is necessarily universal of impermanent.
What about the universal product as a concept?
You just give me an example.
Yeah, universal product as a concept.
Just give me just subject. I need one subject. You have to give me something. Universal of product.
As a concept.
What does that mean as a
Or
concept?
definition of universal product.
Definition of universal of product.
Yeah.
That's fine. If it is universal of impermanent, it follows it is universal of product. So you'll say definition of universal of impermanent. Yeah?
Yeah.
If it is not universal of product, it follows it is necessarily universal of impermanent. This is so nice. I found it today. I was reading. Huh? For example, this is easy. You can say anything. Non-existent. Okay. Take definition of universal of product. You said it now. You stick with it. It follows it is universal of product. Except?
Wait 1 second.
Take definition of universal of product. It follows it is a universal of product. Of universal of product. That's because Venerable said so. It follows it is universal of product. It follows it is not an example of something that is universal of product, but not universal of impermanent. There's 4 possibilities, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to tell you what it is though. So write down, what is the relation between universal of product and universal of impermanent? It's 4.
But, I mean, to go back to that previous,
Which one?
we were talking about product and impermanent, the relationship. You had taken the example of product and the impermanent being the type that pervades it. And it didn't fulfill the third category because obviously, I mean, product and impermanent are mutually inclusive. Therefore, obviously, you will not be able to find something that is not, that fulfills that third criterion. Sorry, I'm not speaking. That exists many things that share a common locus between that, which is not a product and impermanent, because it's mutually inclusive. When it is mutually inclusive, though, one pervades the other and the other also pervades. There's not one who is the pervader of the other.
They're both pervaded and pervaded.
So
No?
in a way, that is why it doesn't fit there. I don't know whether that's the reason it doesn't
That you can say whatever you think is what you think, but you have to tell me, does it fulfill the definition?
So it doesn't, because it doesn't fulfill the third criteria, right?
Where is the definition is there the third criteria?
The definite, for particular, that
Where does it in the definition does it say it have 3 criteria?
the third criteria that it
What is the definition of particular?
The definition of particular is a phenomenon that has a type that engages it as its pervader.
That's all we care about.
So you don't go over the 3 things to check whether it actually is.
Does it fulfill the definition? See, all of this long-winded thing that you're saying is word salad. Does it fulfill the definition?
I mean, it does.
Bas. So it follows it is a particular.
Okay.
That's what you're checking, right? That's all that matters.
So then when do you go to check these 3 criteria?
In the next step,
Then it doesn't.
but then are these the 3 criteria for being a particular?
One of those criteria is,
One sec. Is this not the definition of particular?
that is the definition.
It follows it is not the definition of particular.
Why?
Because it doesn't have the 8 doors of pervasion with particular.
I mean, reason to understand.
It doesn't have the 8 doors of pervasion of particular because if it fulfills the definition of particular of impermanent, it doesn't follow it has to be a particular of impermanent.
That's not true.
Reason not established? It follows there is something that fulfills the definition of particular of impermanent. If it fulfills the definition of particular of impermanent, it follows it has to be a particular of impermanent. Take product, it follows it is a particular of impermanent. It follows it is not a particular of impermanent because there are not many things that are not product but are impermanent. That's a debate, right? Is that clear? Should we do it again? Let's just look at the definitions one more time. We only did it like really quickly this morning. Take pot, it follows it as the definition of shape. Particular of shape. Pot. It follows it as a particular of shape. An instance of shape. Except it follows it fulfills the definition of particular of shape. What is the definition of particular of shape? Phenomena that has That's the definition of particular. What's the definition of particular of shape? Phenomena that has its type shape, that engages it as its pervader, or that, what was it? Operates as its pervader. Yeah? Take pot, it follows it has the type shape that operates as its pervader. Except, take shape, it follows it is a universal of pot. Generality of pot, universal of pot. It follows it fulfills the definition of universal of pot. What is the definition of universal of pot? Take shape, it follows it is a phenomenon that encompasses its specific instances. Its specific instances of pot. Yeah? Is that okay? Is this clear? At least is the meaning of universal and particular clear? Yeah? Okay? So then, if it is shape, no, one sec. Let's just do it 2-3 more. I'm just curious. Take existent. It follows it is a universal of impermanent. Take existence. It follows it is a universal of impermanent. Take impermanent. It follows it is an instance or a particular of existent. Take impermanent. It follows it is a universal of existent. Huh?
Impermanent is a
In particular of impermanent, of existent, particular. Take impermanent, it follows it is a particular of existent. It follows it fulfills the definition of particular of existent. What is the definition of particular of existent? Just say it 4 or 5 times so that you're clear with it. Then you don't get worried about thinking about it. Phenomenon that has the type existent that operates as its engager, as its pervader, right? So take existent, it follows it is a pervader of impermanent. Take impermanent, it follows it is pervaded by existent. Except, okay? Now take impermanent, it follows it has the 3 properties of being a particular of existent. What are the 3 properties of being a particular of existent? What's the first one?
It is a known object of knowledge. It is a known.
One sec. What are the 3 properties of being an instant, a particular of existent? It is an existent. 2. Please don't use these family constellation words. It's not connected with, it's related to. Connected to. What is connected? It follows it is intrinsically related to existent, and 3. There are many things that are not impermanent and existent. For example, many, there's many, you said many, give me 3 at least. Give me 3. Impermanent, unconditioned phenomena. Non-thing, uncompounded, unconditioned space, so many things, right? What? Which one?
Cessation.
Oh, cessation. Yeah, nice, yeah.
Okay, I thought it would.
I thought you said sensation.
No. Cessation.
Freedom, perfect, that one. Okay, is that fine? Then, now just we'll start building it in gradually, okay?
What does intrinsically related to mean, the second one?
It is one entity with that thing, and if that thing didn't exist, it wouldn't exist. In our Dudra, it is related as one essence.
Okay.
Yeah?
Can we use one entity in the definition? Because, no.
Wait, let's see.
Or in the...
Hang on.
It says intrinsically related.
Yeah, no, our text is intrinsically related. Quite a horrible term, no?
One entity. Phenomenon is essentially
I don't know what to do. What do we do?
fine. Well, it is not quite normal.
You know why? Because when we've done the terminological divisions of one, we had one entity, substantially one. So technically, in relations, you come up with the same term. No, let's just keep it the way it is. Kelsey, we're doing too many modifications. Just yeah. When we get there, you'll get it clearer. For now, it just means that they're one entity. So if something is intrinsically related to another thing, it has to be one entity with that thing. And if that thing didn't exist, it wouldn't exist. Like all of us are intrinsically related with humans. Because we're all one entity with human, and if human didn't exist, we wouldn't exist. Right? All of you are one entity with humans who are struggling with debate. I am not. I am one entity with masochist who's enjoying other people struggling with debate. But you get the idea? You are all one entity with that, because if debate strugglers didn't exist, you wouldn't exist. Intrinsically related. But to be intrinsically related, you have to be one entity with that thing, and if that thing didn't exist, you wouldn't exist, like that.
But which way? If people who struggle with
Now that you'll do later. Yeah.
the other way around.
That way. If people, because there are other people who are also struggling with debate. It's not just you, right? Okay?
Then this, I'm still not clear on the third part, that when it says there exist many things that share a common locus between that which is not an object and a knowable object. So it's a definition of a particular. Is it saying that there are multiple or diverse other than particular?
No. So I think the easier way to word that is there are many things that are not this but are knowable objects. So it's pillar, no? There are many common locuses between not pillar and object of knowledge or knowable object. Just means there's many examples of non-pillars and knowable objects.
So when we are defining that particular thing, there are many things besides that or
Besides pillar that are also knowable object. So for it to be an instance of something, it has to be not just pervaded by that thing, but the way of pervasion has to be where it is not the only thing that is part of that category. There have to be other things also. That's why product is not an instance of impermanent. Because there's not many things that are not product and... No.
why is it being specified?
Because think of it like this. When you say... Okay, I'll try and give you a good example. Okay, is hot and burning an instance of fire? A particular of fire? It's a particular of fire? That means that fire is the larger category under which hot and burning belongs? That means there have to be things that are not hot and burning but are fire? What? Take boiling water, it follows it is not hot and burning? Is there anything that is not hot and burning but is fire? No. So fire is not the larger category. If it's not the larger category, it's not the universal. Then they are inclusive. Two things that are inclusive cannot be universal and particular. That's why between a particular and a universal, there'll be three possibilities, always. Right? Yeah? Yeah? That's why to specify the three possibilities part, that last thing is there. Which means there's many things that are not that instance, but there are other instances of that. That's what that refers to. Yeah? You are still trying to find a way to get out without thinking of the definition. Of course they're mutually inclusive. Does it fulfill the definition?
It does.
So then is it an instance?
Yes.
So if it's an instance, then it follows it has the third category. Because it is an instance. You're still stuck there, no? This is not the way to get out. You have to find a way to get out through the definition. Okay?
There are many instances
Of?
many things that are not the particular but are the universal.
Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah. So instead of this common locus, if you just want to simplify it, write it like that. Yeah.
Say it again.
There are many things that are not the particular that are the universal.
Okay, now let's do a few relations, simple ones. What's the relation between functional thing and generality of pot? Or universal of pot, sorry. What is the relation between universal of pot and functional thing? Form? Huh? What is the relation between, no, let's do it now, universal of pot and functional thing? Huh? 4, 3, 2. 3? Yeah. 4, 3, 3, 3, 3. Kai, you want to try? 4. Good. If it is universal of pot, it follows it is necessarily not functional thing. For example. Huh? What did you say? Pot. Pot. Pot? Good. No. Too bad. If it is universal of pot, it follows it is necessarily functional thing. For example. Huh? What? Illustration of pot. Wow. Okay. Existent. Illustration of pot in existence. So the first one we have to do Pooja's pot. For the second one we have to do existent and Naga's illustration of pot. If it is functional thing, it follows it is necessarily an universal of pot. For example, pillar, water, whatever. Okay. If it is not universal of pot, it follows it is necessarily a functional thing. For example, huh? Space. Take pot. It follows it is a universal of pot. Pooja, you're directly in the line of fire. Straight. Take pot. It follows it is a universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it fulfills the definition of universal of pot. Except, what is the definition of universal of pot? It's specific instances of pot, you have to say, right? So take pot, it follows it is a phenomenon that no. What is the definition of universal of pot? Phenomena that encompasses its instances of pot. Take pot, it follows it is a phenomena that encompasses its instances that are pot. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Take pot. It follows it is the instance of pot. Take pot. It follows it is not the instance of pot. Take pot. It follows it is a particular of pot. Sorry. Take pot. It follows it is not a particular of pot. Take pot. It follows it is not a universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is a universal of pot. Huh? The except. Take pot, J and Pooja. Take pot, it follows it is a universal of pot. J and Pooja. It follows it is. So what is the instance? Pot. And what is the universal? Pot. Take pot, it follows it is it is an instance of pot or particular of pot. Sorry, I'm keep getting terms wrong. Take pot, it follows it is a particular of pot. Huh? Except, take pot, it follows it fulfills the definition of particular of pot. That has the type pot that operates as its pervader. That has the type pot. Take pot, it follows it has the type pot that operates as its pervader. it follows it doesn't have a type pot that operates as its pervader?
Yes, agree.
It doesn't have that type? Pot? Okay, it follows it is not it is not a particular of pot? Take pot, it follows it is not a universal of pot? Take pot, it follows it is a universal of pot? Take pot, it follows it fulfills the definition of universal of pot? Take pot, it follows it is a phenomenon that encompasses its instances that are pot? Take pot, it follows it is an instance of pot? Take pot, it follows it is a particular of pot? Because it is an instance of pot. Take pot, it follows it is a particular of pot? Because it is an instance of pot. Reason not established, no pervasion. See, now think there. Take pot, it follows it is not an instance. Take pot, it follows it is not an instance of pot? Take pot, it follows it is not an instance of pot? Huh? Answer. What is that? Take pot, it follows it's not an instance of pot? Take pot, it follows it is not a particular universal of pot? Take pot, it follows it is a phenomenon that encompasses its instances pot?
I'm thinking, what's the particular of pot?
If you're saying pot is the universal of pot, then what are you saying is the instance of that universal? You're saying pot, no. When you're saying pillar is a universal, when you're saying functional thing is a universal of pillar, then pillar is the particular. If you're saying pot is the universal of pot, then pot is the particular, right? So you can't say pot is the universal of pot and say pot is not a particular of pot. That doesn't make any sense. So is pot the universal of pot? It follows pot is a particular of pot? It follows it fulfills the three conditions for being a particular of pot? I'll do it with you. Answer here. Look here, leave the book. Take pot. It follows it fulfills the three conditions of being a particular of pot?
Why?
Because it is a particular of pot.
So I need to go through the third.
Arey, I'm doing it with you. Don't leave the book. Is pot a particular of pot? It follows it fulfills, it has the three properties of being a particular of pot?
It is pot.
Yes, no first. And?
There cannot be anything that is also a pot. So
That is not pot and pot.
yeah.
It doesn't fulfill the third condition for being a property, for the third property of being a particular of pot. It follows it is not a particular of pot. Take pot, it follows it is not the universal of pot. You can say what you want. Take pot, it follows it is not the universal of pot. Answer. Ha. If it is universal of pot, it follows it is not functional thing. It follows pot is not a correct example. So give me got it? Got it through debate? Yeah? Got it? Jay? Okay. What did you say? Functional thing. Take functional thing. No, all of you. What did you say?
Existed.
First. That's the second one. What's the first one? Functional thing. Take functional. Let's do it again. If it is universal of pot, it follows it is necessarily not functional thing. For example, take functional thing. Why are you suddenly so confused? What's the light has gone, you also gone. Is there something that is both universal of pot and functional thing? For example, huh? What did you say?
Universal pot.
Okay. His turn. All of you now take that position, okay? Universal of pot. Take universal of pot. It follows it is universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is a particular of universal of pot. Just go with it. Let's run through it. Take pot. It follows it is a particular of universal of pot. Just say yes. You said yes. Now hold it. No. You then you wait. Take pot. It follows it is. One second. Take universal of pot. It follows it is universal of pot. Those who are accepting, just keep accepting it, okay? Take universal of pot. It follows it is universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is particular of universal of pot. Yeah, because pot, universal of pot is universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is a particular of universal of pot. Take universal of pot. It follows it is a universal of pot. Take universal of pot. It follows it is a universal of pot. Take universal of pot. It follows it is a phenomenon that encompasses its what? Its instances pot. Therefore take pot. It follows it is an instance of universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is a particular of universal of pot. Except take pot. It follows it is a phenomenon that has the type universal of pot that operates as its pervader. Yeah, because it is a particular of universal of pot.
What was your
Take pot. It follows it is a phenomenon that has the type universal of pot that operates as its pervader. Yes? Okay. Take pot. It fulfills the three, it has the three properties of being a particular of universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is a particular of pot. Back to puja. Take pot. Okay, take pot. It follows it is a particular of pot. Take pot. It follows it is a universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it doesn't fulfill the three properties of being a particular of universal of pot. Huh?
This is a new thesis.
No, it's still the same. Take universal of pot. It follows it is universal of pot. You said yes. So take pot. It follows it is a particular of universal of pot.
Okay, it is not.
Yes or no? Sounds about right.
We throw a rock in the dark.
Yeah.
Part should be like silver part or universal.
Yeah, but now you just go with it so that it's clear to all of you. You can say whatever you want, Venerable. You know that. Take universal of pot. It follows it is not universal of pot. Why? You know how conductors do? Whys. Come on, all the whys. Let's make it clear. Because if you're in doubt, then you'll stay in doubt. Either say why or say except. So whys. What? No, I'm asking all the whys to show yourselves. Who thinks why? Take pot. Okay, is universal of pot universal of pot? Who agrees? Please play your trumpet. Blow your trumpet. Universal of pot is universal of pot. Let me see you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this half thing? This is not an answer. It's either this or this. This is nothing. We're not okay with this. Who says universal of pot is universal of pot? Okay. If you're right, you're wrong, who cares? We're running through the motions, right? Okay. Take universal of pot. If it is a universal of pot, it has to fulfill the definition of universal of pot. What is the definition of universal of pot?
Phenomena that compasses
instances of being a pot.
What is the definition of universal of pot? Great. So take universal of pot. It follows it is a phenomena that encompasses its specific instances of pot. Therefore, take pot. It follows it is a specific instance of universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is a particular of universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it fulfills the definition of particular of universal of pot. What is the definition of particular of universal of pot? That has type? That which type? No.
universal of pot.
That engages, that operates as its pervader. So take pot. It follows it has the type universal of pot that operates as its pervader. Okay? Therefore, it follows it has the three properties of being a particular of universal of pot. What are the three properties of being a particular of universal of pot? The pot has to be, first one is pot has to be, the second one, pot has to be intrinsically related to universal of pot, and three,
There are many things which are
not pot but are universal,
particulars of the universe.
but are universal of pot. You can just say it like that. There's many things that are not pot but are universal of pot. You can just say it like that. Yeah? The third one is there are many things that are not A but are B. Right? There are many common locuses between not A and B. Right? Okay. Now the first one, what's the first one? Pot is universal of pot. Is that the first property of being a particular of universal of pot? Does it fulfill the first property? Take pot. It follows, it fulfills the first property of being a particular of universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is universal of pot. So we're back, right? Take pot. It follows it is a universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is an instance of pot. Take pot. It follows it is a particular of pot. It follows that it fulfills the three properties of being a particular of pot.
Particular of pot.
Huh. It's literally, there's a railway track that's been laid out and you just have to follow it. There's nothing new that's been added. You're just checking all the conditions at each step, right? So if pot is the particular of pot, it has to fulfill the three conditions of particular of pot. Does it fulfill the three conditions of particular of pot? Take pot. Yeah, but to be a particular of the universality of pot, it has to fulfill the three conditions of being a particular of universal of pot, right? And the three conditions are: one, that it is universal of pot; two, it is intrinsically related to universal of pot; three, there are many things that are not pot that are universal of pot. So far, so good. What's the first one of these three?
The object pot is universal of pot.
That pot is universal of pot. That's the first one. So now we're checking the first. Take pot. It follows it is universal of pot. Take pot. It follows it is a phenomenon. Yeah? It is a phenomenon that encompasses its specific instances pot. What's the definition of universal of pot? That encompasses its specific manifestations pot, right? Instances pot. So take pot, it follows it as an instance of pot. See? It's tricky, but it ends up there. Take pot, it follows it as an instance of pot. Take pot, it follows it as a particular of pot. Take pot, it fulfills the three conditions of being a particular of pot. Yeah, three conditions of being a particular of anything. That's very convenient, huh, Jason? Nicely. There we were. Yes. Now suddenly no. If something is a particular of something, does it have to have three properties? What are you looking at over there? Before you said it so nicely. Here. Look here. Yeah? It follows it fulfills the three properties of being a particular of pot.
I guess so.
Take pot, it follows it is pot. What are the three conditions of being a particular of pot? One, it is pot. 2, it is intrinsically related to pot. 3, there are many things that are not pot that are pot. You have been here, but now you have, first you came like this and you landed up in a ditch. Now you've done, and you've fallen back in the same ditch. So now I'm going to taking you out of the ditch was just like this. Now I have to take you out like this because you came from there. So I have to show you all the ways that you made a mistake. Just answer. Take pot. It follows it doesn't fulfill the 3 properties of being a particular of pot. Yeah. It follows it fulfills the 3 properties of being a particular of pot. It follows the first one it fulfills, it is pot. It is intrinsically related to pot. It follows there are many things that are not pot that are pot. Are there many things that are not pot that are pot? Really? Please tell me.
Sorry.
Are there many things that are not pot but are pot?
Silver pot.
Take silver pot, it's not pot. See, now you made another deeper ditch. Now you're going deeper. Just come out first. Are there many things that are not pot but are pot? No. It follows it doesn't fulfill the 3rd property of being a particular of pot. Take pot. It follows it is not a particular of pot. Take pot. It follows it doesn't fulfill the definition of being a particular of pot. Take pot. It follows it is not a universal of pot. Take pot. It doesn't fulfill the first property of being a particular of universal of pot. Take universal of pot. It follows it is not the universal of pot. Yes. Take universal of pot. It follows it is not universal of pot. Got it? If universal of pot was universal of pot, then pot will have to be the particular of universal of pot. That's where you're getting stuck. Let me ask a very honest. How many of you haven't followed? How many of you haven't followed this at all?
Mostly in the middle of the power. At the end, it's starting. The power is gone, our brain.
It doesn't matter. This is a tough one because it's got lots of things, right? So we're starting with the slower ones. We just did this because Jason decided to come up with a twisted one. Now that's done. Back to our original one. What is the relation between universal of pot and functional thing? Give me an example of both. What is the... Is there something that is both universal of pot and functional thing? Shape, product. Now we need to test, right? Take shape. It follows it is a universal of pot. It follows it fulfills the definition of universal of pot. What is the definition of universal of pot? Take shape. It follows it is a phenomenon that encompasses its specific instances pot. Take pot. It follows it is an instance of shape. Take pot. It follows it is a particular of shape. Take pot. It fulfills the 3 properties of being a particular of shape. What are the 3 properties of being a particular of shape? It is shape. It is intrinsically 3rd. There are many things that are not pot that are shape. For example, triangle. Right, yeah. So take pot, it follows it is a particular of shape. Take shape, it follows it is a functional thing. It follows functional shape is a correct example of something that is both universal of pot and functional thing. Got it? Done. Second one. Of course it is.
The functional thing?
It is. Functional thing is functional thing. Functional thing is, you test it. Ask me. Prove to me that functional thing is a universal of pot. Prove it to me. No, don't see. Prove. Prove it. I'll answer.
Well, take functional thing, it follows the functional thing? I have to ask you or what?
You have to prove to me that it is a universal of pot. That's all.
No, I thought functional thing might not be the functional thing because I thought it also has to fulfill the three.
No. Functional thing just means it's,
It
yeah.
doesn't need to, so it's okay.
You okay? Okay, yeah. Now, if it is universal of pot, it follows it is necessarily functional thing. For example, take existent, it follows it is universal of pot. It fulfills the definition of universal of pot. What is the definition? Take existent. How does it fulfill the definition of universal of pot? No, universal, just universal. It is a phenomenon that encompasses its specific instances pot. So take pot, it follows it is an instance of existent. It follows it is a particular of existent. It fulfills the definition of particular of existent. What is the definition of particular of existent? Phenomena that has the type existent, that operates as its pervader. Take pot, it follows it has the type existent that operates as its pervader. It follows it therefore fulfills the three, it has the three properties of being a particular of existent. What are the three properties of being a particular of existent? Pot is existent, it is intrinsically related to existent, and there are many things that are not pot but are existent. For example, cat, pillar, tree, cow, whatever you want, right? Okay? Now, third one, if it is a functional thing, it follows it is necessarily universal of pot. For example? You know where you are going, no? You're going back down there. You're going there. Give me an example. Cow. Color. Rope. What's happening? Give me an example. If it is functional thing, it follows it is necessarily universal of pot. For example. Frida. Oh, this one, yeah, Frida. Take Frida, it follows she's not a universal of pot. Follows she is universal of pot. Because she fulfills the definition of universal of pot. Take Frida, it follows she doesn't fulfill the definition of universal of pot. It follows she is a phenomenon that encompasses its manifestations of pot. Its instance, take pot, it follows it is not an instance of Frida. One sec. It's not? Pot is not an instance of Frida. You don't have to get intimidated by expression, it's just something. Take Frida, it follows take pot, it follows it's not a particular of Frida. Take pot, it follows it is a particular of Frida because it fulfills the three properties of being a particular of Frida. Take pot, it follows it is Frida the dog. Why? Take pot, it follows it is intrinsically related to Frida the dog. It follows there are many things that are not pot but are Frida the dog. For example, give me an example of not pot but Frida the dog. Frida the dog. Frida the dog from yesterday, Frida the dog from this morning, Frida the dog from day before, right? Frida the dog from another place where the dog is called Frida, etc., etc., etc. Correct? Okay? Yeah? Perfect. Last one? Space you said, right? Space. Okay? Now, is that okay? Can you run through them? Okay, so again, you're not learning the definition, you're memorizing the definition. You're not learning the relations, you're just running through them. At each step, you ask the definitions and you ask whether it has the three properties of a particular. That's it. That's all you're doing at each step, right? Okay? Yeah? Anyone? Yeah.
I had another question.
Yeah.
Take burnt, it follows it has a meaning.
Except
Please posit the meaning.
burnt.
Burnt.
Singed by fire.
So take burnt seed, it follows it has a meaning.
Singed by fire seed.
So take burnt seed, it follows it still has the capacity to produce.
Why? Produce, except, of course.
Okay, so take burnt seed, it follows it doesn't necessarily mean a dead seed.
Why?
So take burnt seed, it follows it can be a dead seed.
Except.
Dead seed in the sense it cannot produce anything.
Why?
So take burnt seed, it follows it is not, however much it is burnt, it still has the capacity to produce.
Except. To produce, of course.
So take a burnt seed that is burnt to ashes, it still can produce, it still has the capacity to produce.
Except.
Produce sprout.
Why?
Sorry. So take the burnt seed that is burnt to ashes, it follows it still has the capacity to produce a sprout.
Why?
Okay, so take a burnt seed, it follows it cannot produce a sprout.
Except.
So take the relationship between a burnt seed and a seed. Please pause it.
Exclusive.
Mutually exclusive, yeah. But
One sec. You're very happy with my answer. You're happy. No. No. 3 possibilities. Now you debate. 3 possibilities.
so just to be clear.
No, I don't know anything.
So take burnt seed, it follows it has a meaning.
Except
Please pause.
seed singed by fire.
Okay, and take seed, it follows it has
Except definition.
a meaning.
Yeah, sure, except producer a sprout.
Okay, so if it is a burnt seed, it follows it is necessarily a seed.
First question.
Yeah, it is necessarily not a seed.
Why?
For example,
A seed kissed by fire. Why not?
if it is a burnt seed, it follows it is necessarily a seed.
Except.
For example,
Except. I've accepted right now.
except. If it is a so the third, if it is a seed, it follows it is necessarily a burnt seed.
Why?
For example,
A seed not kissed by fire.
if it is not a burnt seed, it follows it is necessarily a seed.
Why?
For example,
Frida the dog.
so take a seed that is kissed by fire. It follows it is a burnt seed.
Except.
Take a seed that is kissed by fire. It follows it is not a burnt seed
Why?
because it does not fulfill the definition.
Reason not established.
Well, it doesn't fulfill the meaning.
Reason not established.
Okay. Please posit the meaning.
Singed by fire.
Okay, so take that which is kissed by fire.
Seed kissed by
And
fire.
take the seed that is kissed by fire. It follows it as a seed.
Except.
So take seed that is kissed by fire. It follows it as not a seed
Why?
because it does not fulfill the meaning of the
Reason not established.
Okay. So the second one you said was accept, right?
I said,
Second.
yes, if it is a burnt seed, it follows it as a seed.
Is seed, and if it is a seed, it is what was the
Burnt seed, why? Seed not kissed by fire.
Okay. So take a seed that is take a seed that is not kissed by fire, not kissed by fire.
Not kissed by
It
fire.
follows it as a seed.
Except.
Okay. And take a seed that is not kissed by fire. It follows it as
Not a burnt seed.
Yeah.
Except.
okay. And okay.
Now challenge though. Now slowly start challenging. Come on, start challenging.
Take seed, follows seed kissed by fire, follows the common locus between the seed and burnt seed.
Except.
Take seed kissed by fire, it follows, is an appropriate example as the third question.
Third question.
Yeah, that it is a seed
Why?
not kissed. Seed not kissed.
Seed not kissed by fire, kissed by fire.
Sorry.
Take seed that's been burnt to ashes, it follows as a burnt seed.
Why?
Take seed that is burnt to.
One sec. I'll say yes, just for the sake of it. Except.
Okay. Take seed that has been burnt to ashes, it follows it is not a seed.
Why?
Because it does not follow the definition of seed.
Reason not established.
Positive definition of seed.
That which produces a sprout.
So take that seed that's been burnt to ashes, it follows it can produce a sprout.
Except.
How does that produce a sprout? I don't understand.
I have 4 responses.
Unless you can posit an illustration, but.
Yeah, of course. The burnt seed that produces sprout. The ashes of a burnt seed that produce sprout. Seed. Oh yeah. Oh really? Haha. Thanks, Jay.
That cannot produce a sprout.
Non-existent subject.
How can they?
How? I have 4 responses.
It's like saying they take dead body, a corpse, it broke up, you know.
Yeah, it can. Dead corpse, you can eat it. It can produce humans. Cannibalism is a thing. Try. Burnt seed, burnt to ashes does produce sprout.
A burnt seed, it follows it, produces sprout as a copper.
Yes, except, see? Of course, you burn a seed, you put it in a pot, it'll be ash. You use ash every now and then for anti-pesticides, no?
It's not compost,
It's not compost. Yeah, but it does. It works like I remember, like you sprinkle it when you have these bugs. You put there, done.
it still has properties.
Take seed that's been burnt, that's in the shop.
That's in the shop. Who keeps these seeds in the shop? Who keeps such seeds in a shop?
For people making
Compost.
butter.
Acha, burnt. Right. Okay. Yeah, those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now go. Yeah.
It follows, it is a seed.
Except.
It follows, it's not a seed.
Why?
Because it does not fulfill the definition of seed.
Reason not established.
Follows the definition of seed.
That which produces a sprout.
Take this burnt seed in the shop, it follows, it produces a sprout.
Except
How does it produce a sprout?
like this. What do you mean? How does it produce a sprout? It turns into a sprout. Not satisfied. It turns into a sprout. Huh?
It follows it does not produce sprout.
Why?
Because it is not a cause for sprout.
Reason not established. The seed in the shop,
Yeah,
before it's turned into peanut butter or after it's turned into peanut butter.
during the process.
Is it still a peanut or not?
It's still a peanut.
Okay, fine. It is a cause.
Okay. Take the peanut that's become the peanut butter. It follows, it is a seed.
Why?
Take the peanut before it's
Peanut butter.
before it's peanut butter.
Samola knows this. They make good peanut butter here. She knows this process very well. Yeah, go.
No,
You can say anything and you can try and hold anything. It doesn't matter. Do you realize it doesn't matter? Have fun with it. Say what you want.
Take ashes if that used to be a seed.
Yeah,
It follows that it produces a sprout.
except. Why not?
Take ashes that used to be take ashes that used to be a seed. It follows that these are ashes.
Except.
Give the meaning of the ashes. Positive meaning of the ashes.
I don't know. Burnt matter?
Okay.
Is that what you say?
What?
What?
The meaning of the sprout.
That which sprout.
Yeah.
Sprout.
Something that.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Seed or sprout?
What did we have? Spirit seed.
That which produces sprout.
Yeah, that produces sprout. So take the
Ashes.
meaning of the ashes and the meaning of the sprout.
Seed.
Seed. It follows that it is.
4 possibilities.
Yeah.
Nice. See, you just do one more step.
Yeah.
You just keep adding. You can keep adding. You can keep practicing. 4 possibilities.
Now what?
Now up to you. That's up to you. I don't know what now. What I've said 4 possibilities. You can run through 4. So technically, a debate can keep building like this gradually. But at each step, you're only just using debate language, right? Perfect. It'll happen. It'll happen slowly, slowly, slowly. It'll come out. Yeah.
Is there a hope of actually pinning you down?
Is that your aim?
Well, I think that's what I'm at. Should we even aim for that? Or should we just enjoy the process?
Why should we never eat?
I mean, it's kind of violent to know the first aim. I think it's nicer to try the other one. Enjoy the process. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. You can come up with so many things. You get incredibly elastic. You get incredibly, like you're thinking, you get to accommodate so many things. Like this initial debate from seed and burnt seed, has turned into 4 possibilities between ashes and seed. And now it can go into another direction. So this can actually turn into a good 1.5 hour debate, but the skill is to try and learn how to navigate, weave the debate, follow it all the way there, make sense over there. If you find a contradiction, bring it back. If you get stuck here, then take it further, then bring it back, and then come back all the way to the original one. It's such a satisfaction when you do this. Yeah? Just have fun. Yeah.
So yesterday you said cooperative condition can be direct cause?
Yeah, of course it can. Of course it can. No, cooperative condition can't be substantial cause of that thing. Yeah?
Phenomena. Yeah, I never know who you're looking at. Right? It's like, okay, take two phenomena, it follows they can be of one entity without producing the same effect.
What's the subject?
Two phenomena.
2 phenomena. They can be one entity.
Without having to produce the same effect.
What?
Okay,
No, one sec. Take 2 phenomena. They can be one entity. Yeah, of course. 100%.
take burn seed and seed follows they have one entity, they're of one entity.
Yeah, why not? Accept? What do you mean?
By fire, yes, it is one. It is ashes. I don't know.
No, it's not contradicting us.
Okay.
But, yeah, no, we go.
So, okay, take burnt seed, it follows it is not a substantial cause of a sprout.
Why?
Because it cannot produce its substantial effect sprout.
Reason are established.
Okay, take, okay,
Oh, this is similar to the debate that you were doing yesterday. Carry on, carry on. Yeah, carry on, carry on. Yeah, you had a nice debate yesterday. Tujhe had a nice debate yesterday. Tujhe's debate yesterday was take seed, it follows it is direct cause of sprout, except. But Maya was debating, no, Tujhe was debating, I think you were also there. No, and then Tujhe's subject was it can't be a direct cause of sprout because you haven't mentioned any temporality with it. So if it has to be a direct cause of sprout, you have to say just before the thing. And I don't remember who was answering, but they were saying seed is direct cause of sprout. If it is seed, it doesn't follow it is direct cause of sprout. And that's where you were, right? So I'm going to use the same format.
got into burnt seed and seed.
Okay, so I'm going to use the same format. Burnt seed is substantial cause of sprout.
Okay, that was actually what I was saying. So then, take seed and burnt seed in the same continuum. It follows they are different entities because.
Yes, they're different entities.
Positive what?
Because they're substantially different.
Oh, substantial. But you just said they were substantial.
No, you said their subject change. You said burnt seed and seed in the same continuum. You changed your subject.
Oh, that's true. I said in the same continuum.
And they're substantially different.
Yeah, they're substantially different.
Okay, then I had posit the relationship between, yeah, two phenomena. Okay, take two phenomena that have one entity, such as a burnt seed and a seed, right? Okay, so take two phenomena that have one entity, and without the light, I can't see what I wrote. And and having the same substantial effect.
Yeah, okay. Just
Well, I also forgot my glasses, so I'm really, that's a little better. Okay, but now it should be even. So if it is two phenomena that have one entity, it is necessarily not, they necessarily don't have the same substantial effect.
Why?
Positive?
You and your arm.
If it is two phenomena that have one entity, they necessarily have the same substantial effect.
Why?
Positive.
Seed and one with seed.
Take the same
If they have one substantial effect.
If they, if they have the same substantial effect, it follows that they are necessarily two phenomena that have one entity.
Why? I'm going to give my favorite example. Why?
Positive.
The dough and the cheese and the sauce that make a pizza.
And then, if it is not two phenomena that have one entity, it's necessarily
Why?
positive.
Horns of a rabbit. Or yeah, like space and something else. Horns of a rabbit. Challenge.
I can't.
What?
I've lost all my thinking.
Someone challenge these then. Someone challenge these. Someone challenge them.
What are the two subjects?
It's two subjects for
Two subjects were?
two phenomena that have one.
Two phenomena that have one entity and produce the same substantial effect.
Yes.
If they're two phenomena that have the same entity, it follows they produce the same substantial effect. That.
You said 3 plus 4.
I didn't say anything. You just asked me. Isn't that how it went down? Yeah, you just started. So 4. I ended up saying 4 though. Yeah. 4. Try. The group effort is the most fun part. Don't get into your own little things. Try.
Otherwise, I could do the opposite.
What?
I wrote that. Two phenomena that have different entities.
No. First do
and
this.
have the same effect.
First do this. Try and do this.
What's your first answer?
My first answer was you and your arm. My second answer was pot and one with pot. My third answer was the cheese, dough, and sauce that go into making a pizza.
Well, I'll start with me and my arm.
Yeah.
So, take me and my arm, it follows that we are two phenomena that have
We.
one entity.
I don't think you'd say we, do you?
They are.
Me and my arm are coming for dinner. Do you say that? We would like to have a comfortable bed to sleep in. I think they is more appropriate. No? Yeah.
Follows that they are two phenomena that have one entity.
Except.
It follows they are not two phenomena.
Why?
Because they don't fulfill the relation.
Reason not established.
The definition of two phenomena that have one
Reason not established.
positive definition.
They are phenomena that do not have separable essential natures.
Take me and my arm, it follows that they have the same substantial effect.
Yes, except.
It follows that they don't have the same substantial effect.
Why?
Because they don't fulfill the definition of having the same substantial effect.
Reason not established.
Positive definition.
They are the primary producer of the substantial effect the next moment of tujhe within the same continuum. I'm giving you so much fodder to debate on. Like it's just rich with material. Why? One second. May I say something? Just a slight observation. What are you all reading? Those of you who are reading, what? Does your book have magical answers that pop up about how to debate arm and human producing substantial effects? It doesn't have it, no? So don't leave it. Just focus on the debate. You'll gather information. And then you'll be able to debate. There's nothing in the book here. We joke with the Italian group, this one man, he's constantly looking at his book for everything. He hears a debate and he looks at his book. But it's not there in the book. So honestly, there's nothing in the book. You won't find anything right now that's going to help you with this debate. So just let's try and do it and work through the structure. That's all we're trying to do, right? So don't look at the text right now. Just focus on the thing. It's going to help you practice. That's my point. That's what I was also saying this morning, right? So using back the analogy this morning, there's two glasses in front. One person is trying and the other one is reading. Saying, color, this, maybe this one, that one. It's no point right now. Don't do that. It's not going to help you right now, right? It's arm and thugje, and we're seeing whether the arm and thugje are one entity and whether they produce the same substantial effect. The only thing that the text can help you with is the definition of substantial cause. Literally. But that, can you now my point was, if you had it memorized, do you see how much more fun this could be? because then you could just follow along with it, right? That's why we memorize these things, because then all these debates become fun. Also, if you haven't memorized it, instead of resorting to looking at the text, if you asked, which by the way I said it, then it becomes verbal and you'll pick it up like that also. The written word is a crutch for debate. This is the 100th time that I've observed it, and now I'm convinced. So next time we're going to create a door where when you walk into the debate courtyard, if you have paper on you, it'll burn it. Because you're not able to let it go. It's such a crutch. Just learn the definitions and use them in debate, okay?
So the burnt paper will become the second.
The burnt paper will become a seed, a sprout later. It'll become a sprout of your intelligence. Carry on.
Take Tuche. It follows she's a cause of her arm.
Next moment I said, take Tujhe and the arm, they are the substantial cause of the next moment of Tujhe.
So it follows Tuche and Tuche's arm don't have the same substantial effect.
Why?
So it follows Tuche and Tuche's arm do have the same substantial effect.
Except,
Take Tuche. It follows she has the same substantial effect of her arm.
except,
Take Tuche. It follows she's an abstract composite.
what? What is that? Why? Yeah, except.
You accept.
Abstract composite, nice. It's a non-associative formative factor, except.
It follows the known. Take Tuche's arm follows as matter.
Except.
Take non-associated condition factor. It follows it is a substantial cause of matter.
Yeah, except. In general, why? In this case, except. There would be the next moment of Tujhe, except. Yeah, because right now she has an arm. Poor lady, don't amputate her already. Right now she does have an arm, you know. Yeah, except. So that's up to you, I accept. Then? I mean, you can do whatever you want, but there's so much stuff here. In just one set, there's so much information. The pizza one. Do you want to try that one?
Let's do the pizza one.
Yeah. So, yeah, the second one was if they are one entity, pot and one with pot. If they are one entity, it follows they have the same substantial effect. Why? Pot and one with pot. Try, just try. It's not there in the book. It's against me. What are you looking for? Please tell me what you're looking for. Do you have a magic book? I want to know what books you all have. I don't have these books. How do you suddenly find all the answers in your books magically?
I have my two subjects to remember what I have to ask you.
Acha. Okay, right. That's fine.
So take pot and one with pot.
Correct.
It follows that they are
One entity.
phenomena with the same and with one end.
Except.
It follows they are not two phenomena with one
Why?
because they don't fulfill the definition.
Reason not established. They are phenomena that do not have separable essential natures.
Pot and one with pot.
Correct.
I'm starting to get that look, so somebody has to jump. There's probably some.
Come in, do it. I'll say what I want to say. The afternoon session, the 3:30 to 5:1, can we turn it into like fun class? Please, just start having fun. I'll give you all the relations. Just come in and come with the intention of having fun. Do your prayer, Manjushri, Buddha, refuge, but then have fun for an hour. And then dedicate. But do it and have fun in it. Because if you're coming here for something like transformative, it's not going to happen yet. It'll happen like later. But not now. I assure you. So right now, just enjoy it. Okay? So go. I mean, take a shot. No, I'm here. Go. Whatever you want.
I would love to read from yesterday one more time, just so I can follow it through again. You know that
Which one?
subjects and what phenomena is one. For something to be one.
You can do whatever debate you want. It's 5 o'clock. Dinner's happening. Coffee's finished. Yes. Can we get into this? Can we start doing this? You know, I'm giving you all these relations I'll give you a few more about generality and particulars. Just write those down and then just try them out in debate, and then we come and do them together in the afternoon, and then we can start developing gradually one by one by one. Is that okay? Yeah, please. Yeah.
Yesterday, we were doing a debate which got built up from thesis. Just a small clarity.
Yeah.
It necessarily needs to follow from the same thesis, or a new syllogism, when it appears, you take that forward. Like the bird and the bird seed which we were doing, which was essentially a substantial cause of from, it started from I, then went on, and then we built it up on that.
So initially what will happen, which is very standard, is you build up, and at some point you build up and you don't know where you've reached. That's normal. That's part and parcel of the process. As you build up more and more, so you know what happens, and it's really fun. I'll tell you a very funny story. Once there was this big group debate. Again, it's... So in the monasteries, after you've done your haram, all the harams of that year, they have to go and sit for the big debates in the inter-monastery debate during this pramana period. Is it the harams? No, I don't remember which one this one was. So that was happening, and it was a pramana debate, okay? It was supposed to be on the second chapter of Pramana Vartika, which is what we'll do next year. Now the monk got up and he started the debate. I was new, I didn't really know what was going on. And then he got really animated and he was really debating well. And I was like, wow, that's so good. And I thought he was an excellent debater. So I had a friend of mine, a monk, and he was just kind of looking like very unamused. Like he was not amused by this. He was kind of unhappy what was going on. So after like 20 minutes, I was like, what's wrong? Like, why are you looking so unhappy? He said, this is a useless debate. So I said, why is it useless? He said, he's taken a pramana debate. This was the thesis of the pramana debate. He's brought in the lamrim, which clearly they haven't studied, and they don't know the material as well. They haven't prepared that material. And he's now trying to defeat him on that. So he said, it's like you've taken someone in the dark and you're beating them up and you're very impressed with your own victory. He said, if you want to win a debate, you want to be good at debate, you should try and beat up someone in the open, was the analogy. And the point is, initially you should have a thesis, do whatever debate you do, and eventually bring it back to the thesis. But because in the beginning when you're training, after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you just get lost along the way, then you're like, wait, where did I go? Where did I come from? You laugh about it and you start again. But once, twice, 3 times, 10 times, 15 times, 30 times, then you'll have a clear idea of where you started from, where you reached, how many tangents you got on the way, how do you tie them all back, but not in the beginning. So right now you will find yourself doing that. Try and remember. So in a group debate, it's nice because someone can say, oh no, we started from there. This is where we came to. That's why in a group debate, when you have more minds working together in tandem, then you can work better, you get more, right? That's it. When you're in pairs, once you're lost, you're really lost. Then you have no idea. So it's natural. Yeah, it's natural. It's natural. It's very natural. Don't worry. That's very, very normal. Yeah? Okay. So, what is the relationship between generality of pot, generality of pillar? Yeah? What is the relationship between generality of pot, universal of pot, and particular of pillar? Okay? So generality of pot, generality of pillar, generality of pot, particular of pillar. I made a mistake? Sorry. Generality of pot. Huh? Sorry. What's the other one? Universal. Universal of pot, universal of pillar, universal of pot, particular of pillar. Okay? Universal of pot, particular of functional thing. Okay? Universal of pot, particular of functional thing. Okay? Next one. Particular of pot, particular of functional thing. This is just for generality, for universals and for particulars. Tomorrow we'll mix them up with other things. So then we can do universal of pot, one with pot. Universal of pot, substantial cause of pot, like that. Okay? So we'll try like that. Okay? Universal of pot and universal of pillar. That was the first one. And I've already told you that there's 4. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Fine. Well,